Okay, so welcome everybody to one more session. Now, for those that were here last week, I would like you to share with everybody what did you learn, what did you experience, if you took any actions, what.
You want notes? Yeah. I learned that the steps for alchemy I've been doing for a long time, but I know that I'm currently going through it with my identity crisis of being a teacher,
Yeah.
and then coming to Bali, and so figuring out what the steps are and then where I am. I found that very fascinating.
Yeah.
As to, so that's what's happening to me, and that's why I'm losing my shit.
Yeah.
So that was very...
Okay, interesting. Calcination.
Yeah, so we were going, I think I got to, I think I'm on like conjunction, where I'm trying to blend like both the energies for this new person being born. But I keep getting torn into old identities, and also I'm going back to the UK, so I'm fighting it. Like, what's the point? I just don't want to come back, right? Because like, there's no point evolving before I go, so I might have to stay as this version, play small, stay uncomfortable.
Okay, nice. What was for you?
With the Shali, like when you were going through all the phases, I was like, oh, that's where I am. And then you would go to the second one, I was like, no, I am on this one. So like all the phases. So at this moment, I don't know if I'm on the 6th phase or the 5th. Because when you were going through all of them, I was identifying, oh, that's where I felt, that's it.
Okay.
And I was like, so I think I'm like maybe on the 5th or 6th, but it was interesting to understand everything.
How are you? Welcome. Okay, cool. Now, since you just arrived, the question is, what did you learn last week and what did you apply? So if you could share with us.
From this?
Yeah, from the last one.
It was about before going to bed, like thinking about things that went well or didn't go. I mean, it went well to reaffirm that everything is on the right path.
Okay, cool. So.
Can I just share one thing? I don't know if you remember the last time I was struggling to understand the pendulum thing. I live it like last week. So literally on Tuesday when we were together, like I was super excited, super happy, like being here. And then on Thursday, like I was on the ground and I was like, oh, this is the pendulum thing. Like I was literally super high and now I'm like really down. Yeah. So I literally live what he said.
I mean, like that's an interesting thing with this type of knowledge, right? Like once it starts coming into your life and you start applying it, then you will be able to see it. Remember that I was telling you like last week, it is as if how many of you have seen The Matrix here? Everyone? No, you haven't? Okay, you need to watch it. That's gonna be the task.
I know bits of it. I feel like I've watched it.
So basically, when he wakes up, right, like he is able to see the codes. So through this knowledge, you are able to see the codes of reality. Like that's how I see my reality now. It's like, oh wait, like crazy thing, right? Like every single morning after this classes, something happens, right? So this morning was like one of the shittiest out of like my month. Because I woke up and I was like completely the opposite, you know, like in the pendulum, like being so high and then you have to face the darkness and the shadow. And then at some point I was like, fuck, like what's the point of everything, blah, blah, blah. And I started like just like following my mind, right? And then I said like, fuck you, like I'm not gonna follow the bully. And then I decided to just write what I was going through. And I have like these GPTs that I am working with someone and now he's giving me all these different GPTs to make you think. And through doing the process, I realized that I have done all this process myself before actually teaching it, right? And when I was like coming into my notes, I was like, wait a minute, I actually went through every single thing that we're gonna be learning today. But that's how the knowledge starts getting integrated into your life. So for those who weren't here last week, basically last week I explained the basics of alchemy, yeah. To give you some context, in alchemy there is 7 different steps. Who can tell here the 7 different steps?
Calcination. Dissolution.
Yep.
Separation. Conjunction.
Yep.
Fermentation. Distillation. And
Yeah. So we all, as you know, like once we start getting awareness of this knowledge, we all understand that we're constantly going through this different process. Every time that you get, like, for example, a limiting belief, every time that you think something negatively, it's basically kind of like the wisdom of your soul getting you into this process. But most of the time, we don't even have awareness of what these processes are, right? So we just listen to the voice, and then we get into negativity, or we don't know what's going on with our lives. Now, to continue with today, and then for those that are new, you will see that eventually everything will start falling into place and it will make sense. But today is all about calcination, right? So for those that were here last week, which phase was calcination from? Black, yeah.
Ian,
Yeah.
just like, can you maybe make like a super quick introduction? What's alchemy?
Yeah.
Like,
And then I will show you the three of them with.
after?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'll do it now. So basically, for those that haven't seen this, what does it actually mean, each one of these systems, right? I want you to think about like the Bible, right? Like how the Bible is for Catholicism, and how the Bible has the 10 testaments. Is it 10 testaments? Yeah, 12, right? Like something like that. So the Bible is basically, if you take away the doctrine, it's a book that is teaching you how to be a better human, right? Now, all of these principles, they do the exact same thing. But these principles, they are not really focused on a certain religion. So what we are doing through, like with each one of these ones, is we're getting access to work with God, with the divine, from a non-religious perspective, right? So think about like the mathematical formulas or the laws. I can share with you as well like a video where you will be able to understand the basics. But basically these are kind of like the laws in which we can start seeing and perceiving life, as, for example, Anna was saying, right? She was able to experience the pendulum. So you're going to start seeing how these things start playing up into your life. Like the more you understand the concept, you can understand what's going on in your life. And then you're just not simply pulled away by life, but you become conscious and aware of how can I change my life. The idea of these whole principles is that we become a better vessel, right? Like think about the classic example. So this is God, as you already know, like you have seen everybody, like this is God, right? Like this, however you want to see the divinity, trying to bring you blessings, and that is you, right? So I have 1 liter of water, but you have the capacity, and you cannot see it. Now, I'm not going to make holes, but I don't know who is this. Okay. So right now, every single hole, right? Like if I actually made a hole, you will see that the water will start spilling, right? Now that is us. Because we carry so many things, we are so unconscious and unaware of who we are that we, basically every single time that God starts bringing things to us, we don't have the capacity to receive it. We don't have the capacity to hold the space for the blessings that are ready there for us. So what we do with this knowledge is we not only remove the holes, like put parches into it, but you also allow yourself to expand the capacity of receiving. Because we are used to in life, like we are so used to like this idea of like, I need to work more so that I can get more. I just need to do more so that I can have the results. But that comes from like a very old mentality that, you know, like as we have seen in the world right now, everything is crumbling, right? Governments crumbling, systems crumbling. And this knowledge allows us to navigate life and to get into a better state in life by simply you fixing yourself, like bringing awareness over the things that you need to improve and how you can expand the vessel so that God can then pour the liter. Imagine if I had a bucket that fits a liter, it will actually hold it. Otherwise, right now, it's just going to be spilled over, right? So that's what we do with these principles. Alchemy is the tools, yeah? Hermetic laws, think about the vase, right? Like if we were to build this house, we're going to need a vase for the foundation, for not even the foundation, but just think about like the terrain, right? If there is no piece of land, the house cannot exist. I cannot build the house in the air, right? So Hermetic laws are that ground. And then the Kabbalah is what holds the structure. So it's not the house, but it is what actually holds it, right? Like the pillars of that we can see here. So that is in short this tree. For you that are new in the community, I will tag you, and you will be able to understand what is this all about in a deeper way.
Yeah, thanks for the intro.
Yeah. Now, today is all about the first phase, right? Like as we explained last week, we saw the principles of these 7 different phases. Today is just calcination, right? So what does calcination mean? Everyone here has gone through some sort of calcination in our lives, because calcination is that kind of like that stage in your life where life starts going very, very shitty, and it's requiring from you to become a new person, right? Now, most of us, we kind of like escape. Alcohol, drugs, partying, there's many different ways in which people is constantly escaping, right? Now, through these rules, through understanding the process of calcination in our lives, we can understand that every single time that you feel shame is calcination. Every single time that you feel hurt, hello. No, that's okay, feel free to come here. Every single time that you feel hurt is calcination, right? Now, there is deeper aspects that, we as humans, we can recognize, like for people that has awareness, because it really depends on how much awareness you have over yourself. But most of the people, they kind of like reach here, right? They are aware of their shame, either of things that you did in the past that you are not happy with, or you are hurt because of what somebody did to you, or you hurt somebody else. But that is how far our awareness goes, right? But then there is the other aspect of calcination that says every single time that you do things that are out of alignment, you are going into this process of calcination. Every single time that you do things out of integrity, you are taken, you as a soul, as a human being, are taking yourself into a process of calcination. Now, what does actually calcination means? Think about when you do a fire, right? What happens when the fire starts running out? Like, what do you need to do?
To start the fire,
Yeah, like we start the fire and we put wood, and then it starts, going off. Yeah, but you need more wood, right? Now, the fire doesn't choose which wood is gonna burn it. The fire just acts as a whole thing. Like it doesn't distinguish. Like if we started a fire here, probably it's gonna destroy the whole house, right? So when we go through this process, which is the calcination, what we are doing, and what alchemy says, right? Like the concept of alchemy says, we drive off water from an element. We take the water off, right? So, hello, welcome. So basically, there is a seat here. Yeah, that's okay. Any questions so far? Yeah. Yeah, so basically, think about the drive of water. It says, when we take off, like when the fire is burning, what in reality is doing is taking off the water from that element. right? So it's drying it. Through the process of drying it, then it incinerates it. So in alchemy, right? Like don't focus on this because you're gonna understand, yeah. But basically, it says like classic alchemy. If we were to set I don't know, like a candy on fire, it will have to strike the water first to then burn it into ashes. What does it mean when we humans go through a process of alchemy, of this process, calcination? Basically, it means that we are going into an introspective phase, right? In which we are meant to be transmuting the shame, the hurt, our misalignment, and our lack of integrity. Have we got it so far? It's quite deep. Like, once I put it into practicality, it's going to make sense, yeah? But now, this is just one part, right? Like, what is alchemy telling us? But in real, like, the basic knowledge of what we do once we start going into a calcination is our ego death. We all have an ego, right? And as we were learning last week, most of the time we're even unaware of how our ego is constantly running our lives. So think about a dragon, right? A dragon that goes and destroys anything when it wants. But what happens? This dragon was never aware that it held the chain, that it was held by a chain. So he thought it was free his entire life. It is not. Through the process of calcination, what we say to the ego is like, actually, you're not in control. Because what happens most of the time that we listen to our ego, right? Every single time that you try to do something new, what is it telling to you? No, maybe you shouldn't. No, it's not so safe. Why are you going to be making videos now? Why do you want to be running a business now?
Is that your ego, though?
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, my perception of ego will be like, do the video. It's going to be the best video.
There is two sides, right? Like, there is a polarity. There is the other side that is empowering you, and there is the side that is saying, like, you are the best. You are incredible. But what happens when we have like our ego through the roof is that you're not open to learn anymore. Because if your ego is saying, no, but you already know this, right? Then why will you learn? So it's that polarity of the ego. But what we do through the first process of alchemy is basically we burn the ego, which is one of the most painful processes. Because if you think about like every single time that you have felt hurt or shame, is it a nice process, to be honest? Like, is it a nice feeling? Like most of the time when we have, like, how many here have experienced before that feeling that probably you went a night out, you got drunk as fuck and you don't remember what you did, but you feel shitty, so shitty. And you keep on carrying that shame for years, right? So how many of you have had or have done something where you feel like that and that you're still carrying that shame? It can be as little or it doesn't need to be really big, but wherever you're carrying shame and hurt, once we understand this process of alchemy, then we can bring, which today I'm going to make you experience, all of you, what does it actually feel to transmute this? We can bring into peace, right? Without us facing this part, without you burning your ego, it's nearly impossible for you to grow into or become realized or become like a human being that has much more awareness. Because if you're unwilling to let go of the idea of like, oh yeah, I already know this, or if you're unwilling to let go of this, most people get stuck here. Now what happens with most of the conscious community is they get stuck here, right? We see a lot of people acting out of integrity. We see a lot of people saying that they are the best and they haven't integrated everything that they are meant to. Questions so far? Oops, probably someone is calling. Any questions? Wait, is it okay if you go out? Because I think there is someone just to bring them in.
He's inside. He's outside.
Yeah, please. Thank you, Bella.
Stay with the dog outside.
Can you lift, please? Any questions so far from here? Yeah, I know this is heavy knowledge, but it's gonna make sense once we got into like the practical side. Now the other one, right? Like, how many here have heard about Hermetic principles? Because I need to understand the new people. Kind of.
Just one quick question before going ahead. Yeah, like, what would be like the integrity part?
Integrity. Every single time that you're saying,
Yeah, an example. Can you give?
An example. There is a lot of people out there now that you can find that they are selling to you. Like, for example, I met someone that was selling 7-figure entrepreneurs. He was selling a coaching business to 7-figure entrepreneurs of how to be a better 7-figure entrepreneur. And he was never a 7-figure business owner. Right? That's out of integrity. Because think about it. Like, why? Like, I get the fact that we all, especially in the service industry, especially because here we have coaches, healers, we have people, we have entrepreneurs in the room, right? But once you get into it, it's like we get so desperate of like trying to get into like the big figures, into scaling, into going big, that most of the time you end up acting out of integrity. Because you will see that all these systems connect to your purpose and your soul mission, your purpose, right? So here is like, how many times am I acting out of integrity? How many times I am trying to portray something that I am not? We have all done it. I have done it. Like 2 months ago, I was selling a business program out of, passing. One of my mentors said, you don't need to create anything because all that you need to do is you need to go to my platform, take all the documents, change 10%, and you can sell it. And that's what I was doing.
So it's kind of like not being honest.
Yeah. So not having integrity, not being honest. Not having integrity is acting again. Like, we all have values. And we can do another class another day where you identify your values. But every single time that you're acting out of your values, you're creating this process. Because there is two phases in calcination, right? One phase is about you willingly going into this process so that you can grow. The other one is you being unconscious that you are creating this to yourself, but you don't even know that you're putting yourself into calcination. We all do it, right? Now, how many of you have heard about Hermetism? What do you know about it?
Not much. I heard about the 7 principles, I guess. Yeah.
7 principles, yeah. So it's 7 principles. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to send the address to somebody. Okay. So basically, with Hermetism, today we're just discussing 1 principle. Yeah, because I'm bringing the integration of these 3. You're going to see how they are interconnected. And at the end, I'm going to take you into a meditation, and we're going to be working this practically. But the principle of polarity, right? Like it says, how many here have heard about yin and yang? Everyone, right? So polarity says, as there is good, there is also bad. As there is white, there is also black, right? Now, what happens is that when we don't understand this principle, we create a conflict within ourselves because we create an imbalance, right? A lot of people, once they start healing, they think like, oh, I just only need to be love and light. No, you don't. You can't. How can you say that you have mastered the principle of polarity if you say, I can only focus now in my light, but forget about the shadow, right? Now, the principle of polarity, what it's asking us, it says that for the light to be revealed, we need the darkness. Right now, how is this all connected? Is the calcination takes us through a process of darkness. So probably you have heard about shadow work, right? So you say, I'm going through my shadows, I need to, like face the negative. What you're doing is revealing. The light will only be revealed through the darkness. And what this principle invites us is to simply create transformation. But for transformation, it can only happen if there is destruction. Do we understand that? So polarity is two opposing forces. Now, how can we experience polarity through the day? Someone explain to me. How do we experience? Yeah, through our day. How do you think we experience polarity?
Going looking for trouble.
Huh?
Going looking for trouble outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting like uncomfortable.
I was thinking about like getting drunk and like doing what you said, like doing something that you will regret the next day or whatever.
Yeah, it's a good example. Like, what happens? We avoid feeling, right? Like, we avoid feeling the black face. You avoid going into the darkness of yourself. So then you start finding distractions. But then those distractions end up just creating the same cycle. Because how many of you here has partied thinking that you're gonna feel better? Or you go out to socialize thinking like that's gonna help me. It doesn't really help you, right? It doesn't have to be partying. It can be scrolling. It can be having sex with someone random. Like, there is many different ways of like us escaping. Huh? Yeah. So we like to escape because this phase, which is the first one, it's very uncomfortable. Like, it is like if you are honest with each one of you and you ask yourselves like, how is that, like, am I really allowing myself to feel every single day? Like, when that negativity comes up, are you sitting with it? Or are you letting take over? I gave you the example this morning. I woke up and I was feeling like shit. Like, literally like shit. He saw me. Right? But then I said, like, will I be letting these emotions? And then I remember, and I was like, the only thing, like, this. Once I saw this formula, emotion, energy in motion. If I willingly go through the calcination process, which is what I did, I literally didn't escape. I didn't went into scrolling. I didn't went into anything else. I went to understand, okay, what is really going on? What is happening to me right now? And then what I realized was that I have been focused so much into like quantum jumping and positivity and things like that, that then I forgot that there was the other side. And that I needed to face that side as well. Because it's part of me. It's part of this polarity. None of you can escape of this polarity. That's why these are what I call the divine laws. Like, literally God saying, like, this is what it's happening every single day. And if you understand, you can get out of it. You can go through instead of escaping. Yeah? Now, the other one, just a second, because someone is... They say that they are here, but... No, wait.
Just 4 dogs. Out from this house.
Okay, so, questions?
Interesting, like one of the things that came to my mind is like how, like, when you're kind of not going in the direction that kind of would result in your happiness or whatever, like you get pulled to the darkness much more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that happens like as you go in age. Like, for example, like if you're like 16 or like 20, you can get away with so many things. I don't know why, but then when you become like 36 or something, it doesn't work that way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, you feel it, yeah, every time it's like, you know.
Because what happens as well is like, think about like, we were never told emotional intelligence, right? So when the emotion comes and it's uncomfortable, we were told to escape. But what happens if that emotion, right? If you don't pay attention to that emotion, it just gets on getting, like it can start like this and it will start going like this. That's why we go from sadness to depression. Because we just didn't have the capacity. You don't have the capacity to deal with it, so you try to escape. You know, that's how you go from anger to rage. I used to have, like, for me in my past, like it used to be so difficult to like even like accept the fact that, you know, like I used to hide everything. Like I was someone that I avoided conflict at all costs. Hello, welcome here. I think you can squeeze and keep, yeah, she's gonna fit in. Perfect. So basically what we're talking, just to make it very quick, we're talking about alchemy, Hermetism, and Kabbalah. Later on everything is gonna make sense, but at this stage I'm just giving a few concepts, yeah? Now, wait, I was saying something. I forgot.
About the emotions that
Yeah, emotions.
Yeah, you say like anger and rage.
Yeah, so not facing the emotions, right? Like, because we escape off the emotion instead of sitting with it. That drives you to take actions in ways that you're not aligned. And then it comes the misalignment. So all these emotions that we have here, all that they are asking is like, pay attention to me. Because the moment that you allow yourself to like move through the emotion, you will see that it no longer has power over you. Again, me this morning, I had the emotion and it was fucking annoying. but I sat with it. And then I said like, okay, cool, like what will happen if I just pay attention? And today you're gonna be paying attention to one negative emotion that you might be experiencing. And it literally, like, it starts changing, it starts evolving into something else. At the end, it gave me everything that I needed to be able to integrate this and be able to teach you all this today, right? Now,
actually a question on when do you, in this example of yours, like when would you feel like complete the process? What does that look like for you?
The process is like the emotion no longer runs my life. The emotion is still present.
But do you feel like some people can, like, kind of like how you drew that spiral of, like, you know, like feeling pain. Like obviously, like feeling pain is important. You have to, but then you don't have to necessarily suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people go into that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know.
It is like a loop.
Yeah.
Right? Because feeling the emotion means you're literally sitting with it. You forget about everything else, you sit with it, and then you will start seeing how that emotion starts turning into something else. But what happens?
What if it doesn't?
What if it doesn't? Then it just means that you're holding so much that you need to be willing to, you know, like, if sitting with it is uncomfortable, you sit until the point that it's uncomfortable.
Or there's release or something.
Yeah, because it's gonna change. Energy in motion. Every single emotion is literally energy in motion. In the same way that we can feel happy, and have you seen that happiness, it's like you reach a point and then it fades away.
When you sit with it, it's like, okay, take a moment to just feel it, be conscious that
you will experience today. I'm taking you all into a process of like facing one emotion. Yeah, because we're gonna be integrating this in practicality. Yeah. Now the other one, Kabbalah. Yeah. The Kabbalah, I will send you the video so that you can understand like the full spectrum, but basically there is many different spheres in the Kabbalah, 10 different spheres. It is said that originally were 12, right? But we're gonna be working with 10. Now, today we're just understanding about Geburah. Yeah? Now, what Geburah is saying is Geburah is every single one of these spheres. Like when I am naming Geburah, I am working with an energy, right? Geburah is, think about like a name of God. Today you will also be meeting Geburah. But what happens when we meet Geburah? How many of you here have asked life for more? Whether it's more clients, a better relationship, right? Like we ask for more. Now, what happens when you ask for more? What is that? Just tell me, what have you experienced?
I just asked for more,
Mm-hmm.
and it started to happen, and now I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like today, I was like, okay, I have all these needs. What the fuck do I do with them? I'm gonna do.
Yeah. So it gets into a point that we say, oh, it's too much, right? Or you ask for more and then everything starts collapsing. Because most of the people, they don't realize this, right? Like we are asking God, the creator, life, the universe, whatever. You ask for more. But for you to be able to, remember the sample that I gave you with the glass, right? I have 1 liter of water trying to pour over a 250 milliliter glass. What will happen if I put the 1 liter? It will be a fucking mess, right? Now, when we work with Geburah, basically we said, okay, now we have given permission for God to come and help us. But God said, if I have a liter and you are a 250 milliliter glass, you need to be willing to let go of the glass. And most of the people are like, no. No, because it feels uncomfortable. Then your ego kicks in, right? When I was telling you like, the first part. And your ego starts putting doubts. No, this is unsafe. You ask for more, eventually everything starts falling apart because you're getting trained to expand the vessel, to expand the capacity. And then we get afraid and we're checking out. And it's like, no, right? But it's like, bro, you asked. Literally, God is saying, you ask, you're going to be taken into this process, right, which we don't have awareness. He takes us through, for us to be able to receive, we need to go through calcination. Now, if you are unaware in your life that you have to go through calcination, will you be willing to go through the process? Most of the time, no. It's scary. It's unknown. Right? Now, what also Geburah does, it brings destruction. Remember that I said, like, principle of polarity says transformation. It creates transformation, right? For the light to be revealed, we need the darkness. Now, Geburah comes in and says, for the transformation to occur, things must be destroyed. And we see it as negative. So, what does Geburah? It literally burns away, which burning away means calcination. So it burns away what no longer serves you so that your capacity and your vessel can be expanded. Make sense? Yeah? Now, the only thing that we don't like about it when we start working with Geburah is that it can be very severe. Severe? It's gonna kick your ass. Like, he's the one that says, like, you know how sometimes in life it seems like you didn't get just a gentle push, but you actually were like really pushed really, really hard? Geburah. It is what it does. Like it's saying, like, probably like for people that they know the Kabbalah, this one is the less favorite. Because it's uncomfortable. Right? Now, something that I want to ask before we continue to the practical side, but I wanted to share this with you. So it says, in Kabbalah, we teach that every day contains a specific divine frequency. Today, Thursday, is the day for checking your roots. Not in fear, but in genuine assessment. So I want each one of you are going to ask yourself this. You don't need to answer, but just think about it. What are you truly standing for? What beliefs, relationships, or practices actually hold weight in your life? And what are you maintaining out of a habit alone? I want you to ask yourself, am I building on truth or on what merely feels safe? What we are going to be doing today is you're going to be giving yourself permission to release something that no longer serves the vessel that you are becoming. Questions from here? Even for those who just came, you feel free to ask questions.
I have a question. Geburah it's a concept? Is it stage under Kabbalah? Like on the lives of the...
Yeah. So basically, Geburah is one of the spheres.
Geburah is one of the...
Yeah, Geburah. Yeah. So for those that, I don't know if you have you seen the Tree of Life with the Kabbalah? No. Anybody?
Yeah.
You have seen it? Well, I don't have my...
3 balls. 10, but you know this theory that we have 12 DNA strands? Yeah. So those are the 12. But you probably have seen this. Yeah, have you seen it? Have you seen it? Yeah. So like basically, and the crazy thing is that this system, right, like what we are seeing here, it's literally connected to the planets, to the metals, to the chakras. The chakras are connected to the glands. This system connects then into the Hermetic laws, which is 7. So it's literally like this holds so much power over each one of us. And the awareness of, like once we start working with, like today you're going to meet Geburah, and you're going to let me know about the experience later.
So Geburah is one of those.
Geburah is one of these ones.
The upper you go, the higher is the consciousness, no?
Yeah, but what happens with the Geburah is this one. But what most of the people think is like you think that we need to go step by step, but it's a non-linear system.
No, everyone has a different.
Yeah. Now, most of the people, humanity is at this stage, honestly, is stuck in the first one. They're not gonna get out of there. Because like all these people that you just see them like acting, like just living and existing, you know, because of the sake of existing, they don't have awareness. If you don't ask for awareness, then the first one literally blocks you. But remember that I was telling you like how this system, like when you use the system properly, your life starts expanding in ways that you could have never ever imagined, because you're tapping within the wisdom of God, right? Like these spheres is saying these are the different names of God, which are different consciousness. The higher we go, you're not supposed to just be enlightened, but your life needs to reflect that, which is what we don't see nowadays. We see a lot of enlightened people out there.
If so many people are at the bottom, what brings people out of it? Because I never remember asking for awareness.
Awareness?
I never chose to be aware. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just have been. Like.
Well, in your case, there is a lot of like. Remember that we were talking the other day. Like, have you heard about indigos?
Yeah, that's what you mentioned.
Yeah. So every generation is the new generations are born without so many filters as the older generations. So that's why they are called the child. The indigos, like they're all like the light childs. It's because they were literally born with access. There is not so many filters. But then the people, like the older that they get, they have like so much filters. And there is people as well that they are never going to be meant to, you know, like, how do you get awareness is because you start getting curious. Like, have you ever asked yourself, like, is there something else in life? Yeah. So otherwise you wouldn't be here.
Yeah, in the generations, that question wasn't coming up.
Sorry?
in other generations that question wasn't coming up. It's just like this is
survival of the fittest. Now it's awareness.
Now it's awareness, and the reason why as well, it's because if you think about it, right, like technology, we literally, like, everyone has access to this. And while there is kids that they might be playing games like the whole day, there might be other kids that they're asking, like, but what else is there? And eventually they ended up in rooms like this.
But I feel like everyone is aware, it's just some people are not aware that they're aware. That makes sense.
Yeah. Because again, like, one of the things that we do as humans is we like to escape from our emotions. Why does alcohol exist? Why does the scrolling exist? It's people prefers to be there than actually facing what it needs to be faced, right? Any questions? Before I delete everything?
If you're saying that most people are at the bottom of that chart, I don't know where I am on it, but sometimes I feel that I wish I was still at the bottom, because in my understanding of life currently, as young as I am, is to enjoy the highs and the lows of everything. So as you said, when you're happy, you're going to neurochemistry, the dopamine comes below base level before it comes back to neutral.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have the high and the low. So enjoying being sad that you miss and enjoying the pain that you're enduring when you're working out, like enjoying both, just accepting the experience for what it is. But I feel that people that are at the bottom experience a lot higher highs and a lot lower lows because they're so unaware of how much control they have of the roller coaster. But the awareness of the roller coaster,
That's really, keep going.
makes it that like you're trying to control stuff more, but that takes away from the whole essence of the point. Like once you understand the point, as you're like taken away from accessing more of the point. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
You're some game.
Sorry?
You're some game.
Okay. Yeah, that's a perfect example.
Okay. So this is us, right? And as in everything, there is directions, right? There is ups, there is lows, there is ebbs. Like life is a roller coaster, right? Now, as you said, many people they don't have awareness of that. And what this knowledge does, it does actually the opposite of controlling. Because once you understand that this laws exists, right? To give you an example, if there is another law that talks about the seasons, right? Once we understand that everything is seasons, which we were talking the other day.
Is what, sorry?
Seasons, right? Like summer, winter.
Oh, see,
Yeah. So once you understand that, then you will be able to think about where am I in my life, which season I am in, and you will be able to be at peace with it. But if you don't have the awareness, then you're going to try to control whatever is going on. Right? So a lot of people, they try to control, they try to grasp, to have control of reality. Whereas these laws, they said all that you need to do is just have awareness over it. You become the channel, right? Like you channel the divine, you action it, but you let it open it over to the path, whichever path you're meant to be going. And what does, like the polarity as well, because it says like one day we're happy, and what happened to you? One day we're sad, right? The polarity, if you're unaware of the polarity, you're gonna go like this all the time. Because this law says, in the same way that you experience this, now you need to experience the lows.
but that's more fun than not having this.
But wait, but true realization is to be in the middle.
But that's boring. That defeats the whole object.
If you're not having it, it's because you're down, because everyone else.
No, it doesn't mean that you're not supposed to have it.
Okay.
But here,
That you feel
like if you looked at it, right, like if you're here or here, it means you're letting reality take you where it wants. But if I become neutral, I stabilize everything, and here is how you become a creator. Because otherwise, life keeps on rolling you, and one day you are super happy, and then the next day you are in the opposite, because the law of polarity says, in the same way that you're feeling up, now I need to bring you down. But if you simply become aware and you realize that it's not about not being happy, in the same way that it's not about not being sad, but if I simply allow myself to feel the emotion, then I am allowing the channel of whatever I am trying to create to simply be open, right? Did I answer the question?
Partly, I was waiting for a little bit more.
Because it is like, for example, like in this system as well, think about like every single sphere is, we're gonna see it in this way.
What was the question?
It wasn't really a question, it was more of a statement that sometimes I feel that I wish I was still at the bottom with everybody else, because it's more fun. Like, you get to go up and down.
It's super you.
You won't want to be like that forever.
But I feel like this is such a head fuck that I'm just going to spend, like, there's so much more to learn. I'm just going to end up sitting here and spending so much time contemplating all these abstract thoughts, like going through ego deaths and stuff. But the whole point is to have the ego. The ego is there to protect the part of God, the part of consciousness that you are, to experience everything else. But if you take that away, then you might as well just die.
You're not taking it away. You're just not letting control you. Most of the people, they are not even aware that they have an ego.
Yeah.
Right?
But now that I'm aware of it, then is there any point in learning anymore?
It's really up to you. Because, like,
Yeah, but I'm always going to have questions. The more I learn about it, the more questions I'm going to have. So there's no difference in learning or not. I can just sit here and still have questions and go about my day, or I can come to this and suffer the
calcination.
The
Calcination.
path goes more to embodiment and to presence and to joy.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Like, this liberates you. You know what I mean? Like, here you are being dragged, whereas here you find liberation. And as they said, the path, the idea of, is that you can really learn to experience life from like a different lens, from a life where, even though reality is dictating certain things, I know that I have control of. Right? I know that even though a shitty thing happens tomorrow, I can control the meaning that I want to give it to it. And I can either overcome it or go into the shitty state. And the spheres, what they do is think about like different clouds, right? Like these clouds, they are like, it's a different USB-C with a different code in it, right? So when I want to plug something into the computer that the computer doesn't have it, I get it from here and I plug it into there. So that's what we do. We allow ourselves to navigate through different stages of consciousness. And through there, the whole idea of this is that you can create your reality. But a reality that is not meant to be forced. A reality that you allow yourself to suffer, but suffer is not dictating what that future outcome is.
You lost me. What I'd like to go back to is, how is being in the middle make you a creator?
For this, you're going to have to watch, because I don't have time to explain everything. But there is a video that I have where I explain all this, and you will understand what is the point of being.
But it's not like if you're in the middle, you don't feel, the things. It's just like...
Yeah.
It's more joy in the middle of the ups.
Like here, it's, yes, we can have the highs and lows. But in the middle, you have control over, it's like, if I am the creator and the divinity is creating through me, then do I need to, for example, once you start a business, you get into hustle, right? Because I need to hustle more and because I need to do more so that I can get bigger results. Or you start going to the gym and you're like, now I need to be super careful about my diet and about like all these things. We keep on being dragged into the opposite. Whereas here, you get to realize that, for example, they did an experiment, right, where they literally saw that they placed a group of people in, and this was in United States. They placed a group of people. One group of people was going to the gym, and they were like physically.
And then one was thinking.
One was thinking, right, and then they measured the results. Now imagine once you can mix both. But you do it out of a place of like, I know who I am, I know what I want. I know that whatever reality is dictating towards us, like, you know, like when COVID happened and everyone was freaking out and everyone was like, oh my God, like there is so many people dying, blah, blah, blah. Once you become aware that you are not, that you are a character in a game or in a film, things change.
But there's also two different ways to experience the middle, and I think that's why I think you're both right. It's because you can experience the middle through, and you're not self-realized, like still through the character, and I think that can
There is
happen.
people, yeah.
And then when you're self-realized, when you wake up from the dream, and then you see the middle, it's like, what the fuck am I doing in this game? You know, because I'm out. And I think that's what you said about the fact that, you know, I just want to be the ego sometimes.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I feel like when you're self-realized, you're kind of experiencing every emotion through a window. Like you can observe like they say, oh, just observe the emotion and let it pass. It's like you're observing the emotion, seeing it and like working through it, letting it pass.
Mm-hmm.
You're like detaching yourself from it basically, so you can stay in the middle and not be dragged along with it. But I feel that I feel that takes away the whole point of it. It's like, let it take you, let yourself feel all of this, let your heart start racing, let the fear take you to wherever, let the joy take you to wherever. And I don't know how to describe it without going down too long of a story, but an ex-partner of mine, she gets so excited anytime something small would happen. And me watching her experience that joy, I'd be excited too, but she physically couldn't contain that joy. And sometimes I'm like, I want to get like that, because when she was upset, she'd cry immediately. When she was excited, she'd be jumping up and down. But I was always placid in the middle. So I can see that I'm happy and I can see that I'm sad, but there's very little change in my physical presence. And that feels, from my perspective, being in this role, given I've not been in the other role, that what she's experiencing is a lot fuller of a life, because you're getting to experience every part of human emotion. You're getting to explore every part of happiness and sadness along the way.
In a way, it's beautiful, right? But just to come back into because we can go into deep rabbit hole, but coming back into like how the emotions, then they dictate the reality. If we think about whatever I am thinking creates an emotion and a feeling. And those emotions and those feelings are constantly dictating my reality. If I am constantly driven by whatever emotions I am having, then reality will just reflect the same back to me. Which most of the time might not be an ideal reality for what I am trying to create. Okay. And the only way, remember, energy in motion, it doesn't say you need to escape the emotion. It doesn't say you don't need to face it. The only way in is through. I don't know if you have heard about this. The only way in is through.
No, I don't think you lose the capacity of feeling things. So, like the example that I had that feeling of the penguin last week. We were literally having this conversation here, and I was saying, like, I don't agree with what you're saying. Like, if I'm extremely happy, I think I should stay extremely happy. I shouldn't bring myself down. And then 2 days later, I felt the really low part of it. So at the beginning of the week, I was extremely happy, and at the end of the week, I was extremely low. But especially with the low, I was able to rationalize. And I was like, okay, so this is the penalty. Because I was not understanding why I was feeling the way I was feeling, but I was feeling really bad. But at least the fact that I understand that, because I was so extremely happy at the beginning of the week, I was able to understand why I was feeling so low. But I still had the feelings. I'm still not in the way that if I'm extremely happy, I need to bring myself down. I love to be there, and I'll continue. But I think at least when I'm really low, it's more easy for me to understand. Okay, this is just a phase. This is basically just a pendulum, like balancing things.
Yep. It's really like at the end of the day, it comes to how do we create. Because even balance, what balance is for you might not be the same for you. Like for everybody has like different, but it's how do I get to create a life where I choose.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to say something.
I do think life gets more boring.
Okay.
It does get, but it's good boring.
I just want to say that I
We can
think
talk
that,
about this. It's very interesting to say.
Yeah.
It's also about the attachments that you have to like certain emotions and certain feelings. Because
Sorry, can you restart?
yeah, sure. No, it's like the attachment that you have to certain emotions and feelings. For example, a child sees the world like you were describing through joy, but he doesn't attach anything to the joy he's experiencing. But me as an adult, I start questioning myself, even when I see pure joy, things like validation or So I feel like at the end of the day, any emotion or anything that you feel is beautiful as long as you don't attach anything to it. Because a child is never wrong.
Okay.
So that's what I feel.
Yeah, there's just like this attachment, like choosing to accept it for what it is and letting it go.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I feel that I'm already there though, so where else is there to go?
Enjoy the ride, brother.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Like this whole trip I'm on right now is just nothing but a roller coaster. I'm having the best time of my life. But when I sit here and it's like, okay, well you gotta go through an ego death, and I was like, well fuck you, I'm having a good time. Why are you ruining it? So
Everything is like an ayahuasca.
yeah, so it's just
Okay, so basically, this was one of like the best concepts that I had passed through a mentor, and she said like whatever, like we have the capacity to think about like reality is like a TV show, right? Like we have access to different TVs, but we get to choose which one do we want to be paying attention to. Think about the moment that I don't know, if one night you pick a new show in Netflix and you didn't like it, what did you do? You change it, right? But when you change it, what happens? What? No, what happens when you change to a new one? Like, are you still seeing the same show in the screen? No, right? Now, we have the same capacity, but we need to be willing to, what happens most of the time is we let realities to overlap. When you're watching a show, right, like if I was watching to a shitty reality that I didn't like and I change it, it means that then my attention goes into something completely different. But our attachments, our emotions, our thoughts, they will keep you trapped into like only seeing this. So for you to be able to tap into new realities, you need to be willing to let go of absolutely everything of who you think you are. And that is the process where your ego dies. And it doesn't mean that it's gone forever. Because if you don't know this, you will know. But your ego evolves. And it's fucking smart. And in the same way that it can drive you up, most of the time has the capacity to make you feel like shit. Because your ego right now likes this. Here's what I want to be experiencing and what I want to be seeing. Right? Now, this whole process, what allows you to do is to remove this in a way that is not, you go through the pain accepting it. You go through the emotions accepting it. You go through whatever you need to be going through, and you know that it's part of the process, and you trust. Because this loss here, they are going to ask you for, and you can just take this. This is the most important part. Faith, surrender, certainty. when you ask your vessel to be expanded, this is what it starts happening. Any questions?
What was the last one?
Certainty.
You keep saying about like asking for your vessel to be expanded.
Mm-hmm.
What if you've not asked for it to be expanded?
The thing is that once you are aware, you cannot not be aware anymore.
That's the problem.
Once you are aware, you cannot, like, the moment that you access to this information, you cannot not have it anymore. Which is crazy, right? So once you have it, you cannot not have it. You might as well enjoy it rather than question it. Why the fuck do I have it? Because there is no way back. You know, that's humans. Once we access to the spheres, they're not gonna let you go back. Like I did a process, I told you, remember that I did like the 10-day process with the spheres? Oh my God. Like it's intense. And I thought that the process was finished and I was like, oh, cool, my life is gonna go back to like normal. Now everything is just like, pfft. Because I created awareness, I started working with it. The way I see it is like these ones are codes. Once you created remember that I did the clouds? Once you plug it in, the information is there. It's up to you, what do you make with it? Now, coming back to the whole concept of today, I would like to give you some time for you, and you can do it in your phone or you can do it in... Yeah, do it in your phone, because I don't have paper. But basically, let me just do this. So we're just gonna reflect on... I want you to think about where in your life Okay, so one single question, yeah, for you today. What will you do differently in any specific area of your life if you trusted your inner knowing completely?
If you what?
If you trusted your inner knowing completely. What will you do differently in one specific area of your life? Don't pick all your life. Just one specific area. If you trusted your inner knowing completely.
Like your gut?
Yeah. Simply ask yourself that, yeah? And then after that, I want you to think about whether if it's one emotion, whether if it's one limiting belief, something that might have been confronting you lately, that you would like to take it into this process of like bringing a different awareness, we can call it.
What was the second?
The second one is think about a limiting belief, an emotion, or something that you have been, think about like avoiding it, right? Something that you have been escaping it, that you know that when it comes, it creates that ick, that feeling that I prefer to scroll through, I prefer to go and party, I prefer to go and socialize. So just bring that into mind. You have 5 minutes.
I'm feeling a lot of resistance to this question. I'm like, there is nothing.
Just leave it, because it's your process. If there is nothing, you work with nothing. Like that's the beauty of it. Like there is no right, there is no wrong. Whatever it comes to you, it comes. If nothing comes, that's also part of the process.
So the second one was like thinking about things that you would rather do.
The second one is like something, it's whether a limiting belief, something that is limiting you, something that is not allowing you to like, you have been trying to let it go and it's not happening. It can be a negative emotion, an emotion that you have been avoiding.
So the question is, what's an emotion you've been avoiding, not what's
something you'd do differently if you fully trusted your intuition?
The first one, yeah. What will you do differently if you fully trusted your not your intuition, but your inner knowing?
Okay.
That's the first one.
What's the difference?
One is taking you to like a light aspect. The other one, we're going into the darkness.
Which way around is that? Intuition,
Inner knowing, up.
Okay.
Emotions that you have been avoiding, down. Remember the process of transformation?
Yes.
Like polarity.
I meant intuition. So I said intuition, you said inner knowing. What's the difference?
The difference between intuition and intuition comes from like your feminine side. Inner knowing, it's the integration from the masculine and the feminine. So we all have masculine and feminine energies.
Yeah, I understand the masculine and feminine energies, but if that's coming from the feminine, then what comes from the masculine?
From your masculine, once you have like the inner knowing, for example, the masculine acts. Your intuition tells you. Your integrated masculine asks over what the intuition
okay,
told.
So the feminine is the idea, and the
Yeah.
masculine is the
Yeah. So like you have like feminine, creativity, intuition, masculine, action oriented, building, like doing the thing.
Is creation coming from the feminine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But your action in it is then tapping into the masculine.
It's a mix.
Yeah, it's a mix. Ready?
Oh, sorry.
No, you still have 3 minutes. I don't know if I want to. Any questions?
I'm so lost. There's like so many to choose from at this point. I was like, I don't even know what I'm
Pick the simple, like if you were to ask yourself, right? One thing.
What?
It doesn't have to be complex.
It's like a ball of like knitted wool.
So if you were to ask,
Pick one string and pull.
Just if you have it.
I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm like, oh my god, that's such a loaded question. I don't know. And you're on the other end, like, yeah, I'm fine. I was like, wait, what? I was like, what is happening here?
Well, don't prioritize or choose like just random. Okay, the first one, and that's it, and stay with that one. If you have anything further, you overthink.
because the first question opens up, right? Like, what will you do different if you trusted yourself fully? Right? What will I do differently? Then, what is it stopping me from doing that fully? And then you will see a thought, a feeling, with an example.
Or do you mind?
Tell me, yeah, and we work it.
Today I undercharged.
Uh-huh.
And the chat is like feeling bad.
Okay.
So today is the day for.
So, but undercharging is a bad, because
Yeah.
if I trusted my inner knowing,
Uh-huh.
I knew I shouldn't have charged what I charged.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Now, if you go through it, like where did that came from?
So,
insecurity, I guess, lack of self-worth, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You were tired.
Huh?
You did a lot.
I did a lot.
Yes, I mean like.
No, like when you did it, when you were doing it, right? Like what came into?
For a client,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not like herself.
So what
Like
came
today,
through?
Yeah.
But what came through? Like
What came
what
through?
made the decision to happen?
Greed, probably.
Uh-huh.
Like I wanted the money now, so I was just like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And then I was like, fuck, come on, I'm charging like way more, and people already paying for that, and I don't know why. Immediately I go to the, I don't know, fear of scarcity.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay.
But that goes back to what you were saying before, though, is like, what meaning did you give to it? You could put it down to the meaning that you were feeling generous at the time, rather than acting out of the place of scarcity.
It didn't
But-
come from love. I can be a philanthropist sometimes and be like, I offer
Yeah,
you
yeah,
the
yeah.
sessions, and I'm very happy after that.
Okay.
But then when you don't feel happy after doing
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
you realize it didn't come from being generous,
Yeah.
but from being a nice.
But you mentioned something now, fear of scarcity, right? What is the deepest, lowest negative meaning that your brain could make up about you from fear of scarcity?
What is the deepest, lowest meaning of
See, yeah. What is the deepest, lowest negative meaning your brain could make up about you from fear of scarcity?
And I am poor.
There you go. So that is the baseline, because the subconscious works in that way, right? Once the subconscious triggers, we just take actions that we don't even realize why did we do it. So for you to work right now, it will be with that one. Like bring that over. Because what we're gonna be doing is have we got it? Yeah.
I have another question to build on that one. You explained to me yesterday it's about the meaning you give to the thing.
Yeah.
Can she not just apply the meaning that she was feeling generous?
Yes and no. Because of where is it coming from?
Yeah, because she can identify that that's where the feeling is, but can you not manipulate that in some way to feel how you're choosing to feel through consciously choosing to reaffirm that's why you did it? Because, as you said, the only thing that tells you that this is a table, you believe it's a table, but if you can convince yourself that it's
but you know that you're doing that you're convincing yourself of doing that, so you're able to do that.
The thing is that
I am a generous person. I don't need to undercharge.
You are not really being real with yourself in that sense, you know.
That's not what we just talked about yesterday.
No, because they don't know what we talked about yesterday. But the thing is that there is different processes, right? Like, yes, we give meaning to things, right? We can also give meaning to our actions. But remember when I had written here like out of alignment and out of integrity, when these two kick in, then we need to be willing to go into that space. To give you an example, what just happened, right? Clearly, you're feeling off, especially when it comes to a decision that involves what you're creating, right? So when it comes into that, it's like I need to be able to understand where is it coming from so that I can change it. Because if right now I just choose to give it a different meaning, in the future it's gonna play back. Somewhere else. Right? So what we do now is, for this context, we basically go to the root.
Yeah, you're following it down to where it came from.
To where it comes from. Because you need to release that root. There are certain things in reality that we can change by changing the meaning. Deeper aspects of ourselves, like for example the self-worth, right? Because it comes from this of I am poor. If we go deeper, like we can go deeper, and we're going to understand that there is a deeper root. That root needs to be released. That's the work with the subconscious.
I'm going to take some time to process.
Yeah, take it easy. But I like people that ask questions because then we all learn.
I want to see your human design. I'm curious now. Do you know?
Human design.
Is that what you
Yeah, it's all connected. Human design, astrology, then all this. Like this system connects astrology. Like it's based on astrology as well. So everything is very. But today we're seeing that, like, okay, have we all got it? Yeah. Now all that I want you to do is you're gonna find a comfortable seat, and I'm gonna be guiding you through a journey. And my only recommendation is trust whatever is coming up. We're going to be learning today how to face those emotions and those feelings, and that's it. If nothing comes up, go with nothing.
I have identified a feeling that I'm ignoring, which is fear.
Okay.
But I don't feel that now that my brain is ticking from all of this, that I'm in a place where I can feel deeply, feel I'm in high beta.
Don't worry about it. Like I will guide you through.
The overthinker.
But I will guide you through. Like I'll take you through a process of relaxation. You're comfortable there? No. Okay. So for this one, turn off the light. Yeah. Okay, so just get yourself comfortable, and I want you to like simply, we're gonna start by closing your eyes. If any of you have like phones make sure that you put it on silence, like no distractions, please. And we will simply, as you close your eyes, you're just gonna simply allow yourself to reconnect with your body. Perhaps with your thoughts. We're gonna take 3 deep breaths all together. We're gonna simply exhale now. And you're gonna inhale and exhale. And once more, you're gonna inhale and you're gonna exhale. And we're gonna inhale once more. And you're gonna simply let go of the day, any energy that was stagnant. And I'm gonna be taking you over a quickly body scan. And I want you to simply imagine as if there was this wave coming from the bottom of your head to the bottom of your feet. A gentle wave of relaxation. And you're gonna start feeling how this relaxation comes down from your head to your nose, your mouth, your ears, your neck, coming through your shoulders, your chest, going down to your lower back, your abs, your glutes, coming down to your legs, reaching out your feet, and you simply allow yourself to go deeper and deeper relaxed. And in a moment, we're gonna help our mind relax. So you're gonna help me count from 100 down to 0. And you might just realize that on the way that you might forget even that you were counting. Because every time that you think about the number, you instantly forget about what is next. And we start with 100. $99. And as you name it, you forget what is the next one. 98. And you might just start realizing that your mind starts relaxing. 97. 96. And you will simply let your conscious mind to keep on counting the numbers in the back of your mind. That's right. Now, I would simply like you to imagine that you are in this sphere, surrounded by a big bubble of light, protected, guided. And as we are in this sphere, I simply want you to imagine how slowly you start floating higher and higher. And we pass the roof, we pass the sky, we pass the stars, and we keep on floating higher and higher. And we are all simply floating to this room that it's stored somewhere in the universe. And as we float and we get closer to this room, to the vastness of the ether, I want you to simply imagine as if you were floating within this vastness, knowing that you are safe and secure. And as you are there, in the sacred chamber, in this moment, I would like to ask you to bring forward the feeling, the emotion, anything that you wanted to work through. And first, you're going to simply feel it in your body. Let it come through. Do not escape from it. Allow yourself to feel the feelings and the emotions rising up, rising up. And it might feel uncomfortable. But simply feel it. What is happening now? It might be moving from part to part in your body, or perhaps it might be stagnant. Allow yourself to feel. That is the first stage. And in this chamber, in your inner laboratory, I want you to simply now imagine how this emotion, how this feeling starts slowly getting out from you, as if it was taking its own shape. And you can see it and you can feel it coming out of your body. And it will be placed right in front of you. And I want you to look at it. Acknowledge its presence. He might have been there for a while, or perhaps It's the first time that you allow to see it. And as you are there, confronting it, seeing it, now I want you to simply bring awareness to how do you actually feel now? How do you experience yourself now that you have been detached from this emotion or this feeling? And in a moment, I will simply ask you to, within this chamber, with your mind, you will be calling Geburah. And you can simply name it. And as you call Geburah, you might start feeling a certain presence. The colors might change around you. And simply wait for the sign to know that he is there. And once you have received it, once you have that certain inner knowing that you're not alone anymore there, I simply want you to ask Geburah to help you lit the fire with that being that is right in front of you. Because today we're not destroying it, but we are alchemizing it. And I want you to simply start observing how these flames start appearing out of nowhere. And as they appear, it might feel heavy. But you simply let the flames take all over that being that came out of you. And I want you to simply sit with it, observe it. Go through the process of how the flames are taking every inch, every part of this being. Turning it into ashes. And we're gonna simply sit there with a few seconds of silence, simply observing it as when you have observed the fire taking over the wood. And somehow that sense of calmness, of peace, returns into your body. And as the flames turn everything into ashes, I want you to observe now how those ashes that might have very interesting colors are just right there in front of you. but they are also part of you. And I want you to take your both hands, and you're going to take these ashes and as you take them, you feel the sense of warmth. It is a warmth that doesn't hurt you anymore, but that it feels very familiar. And as you grab them, I simply want you to observe how you bring them back into your chest. And as you bring them forth within you, they now become part of you. Integrated parts of yourself. And I just want you to simply trust and know that as you have been guided and supported by Geburah, in the next hours, in the next days, you might simply start feeling the changes and becoming aware of what shifted and what changed. Because as you allow yourself to feel through, to go through, you simply create a space in your vessel. And as you are there, you're going to receive a message, a whisper. So I want you to just simply listen. Listen to the whispers of your soul. And once you have received this message, I want you to simply know that you can always come back to your inner laboratory. To this space. A sacred space that resides within you. And as we start feeling that integration, as we start feeling those emotions, feelings, I want you to simply observe how the same flame that now helped you integrate these emotions or feelings, simply observe how this flame is now surrounding the bubble that you were in, making it stronger. And simply observe how the flames now slowly start disappearing. And the room as well slowly starts vanishing within the ether. And you are left with a new sense, with a new feeling, with a new thought, perhaps. And I want you to simply observe how you slowly start coming back into the here and now. How the ether and the emptiness starts vanishing. And you realize that you are back in the room. And as you come back into the room, simply hear the sounds around. Perhaps start feeling the sensations of the clothes over your skin. Any smells. Slowly start moving your hands and your feet. And you will slowly start coming back, feeling peace and refreshed. So just come back slowly. Maybe you can stretch. I'm gonna maybe cover your eyes because I'm gonna turn on the lights. Welcome back. How was that?
When you asked to bring it out, feeling I saw something in my childhood.
Yeah.
I saw a memory.
Okay. Yeah, it's very. That's how the beauty of this work is, right? Like you get to see whatever your soul is required to, because you're being guided by a higher intelligence. But what we did was we literally calcinated, so you were able to see your inner laboratory. For those that I will be adding you after this into a group, and then I can send you the resources, because we have like a meditation to access to your inner laboratory, which is literally just relaxing your body, relaxing your mind, and then just sitting in silence. So you can always have access to your laboratory, and you can get to do this type of cool things if you remember the process. But we all have access to it. Did you experience any shifts, any changes?
Even fall asleep.
Mm.
Things for a moment. I've been very clearly asking for security, which I've always not liked security because it was boring. Used to be a daredevil all my life until kind of now. And now that it's security is like there, I'm like, oh no, but that's boring. Do I want to get there? And then what happened was that I actually kind of fell asleep and be like, this is how it feels. It feels great.
Yeah.
So it was very beautiful to experience just there that I was, when I accepted security, purity, when it felt, it was just like a big, like my head went up and I was like, and I rested and I was like, oh fuck, yes, I say yes to this.
Nice. Beautiful. Anybody else?
Going off that, I think for me, kind of similar, like this idea of like structure, safety within structure, because I've also been very like flowy to like my idea of freedom. I mean, structure creates freedom and liberation, like we're speaking about, but often like we think we need to be, you know, like even physically, it's like I didn't like to be in one place, but now it's kind of like wanting to like what is the season I'm in? I want to build, so for that it's like structure, routine is required, and I'm enjoying it now, but I think there's more like I can ease and expand into, you know, this. So yeah, that's what's come up for me.
Nice. Well, that's it for today.
Thank you.
Thank you for each one of you for being here. I have an announcement, and I have actually a 7-day workshop coming up next week. It starts on Saturday the 13th at 7 a.m. So for 7 days, we go through a process very similar to this one. If you're interested to join, I can send you the link. And basically, every day we work with, you know, there is 7 different layers, 7 different parts of your mind, what I call the codes, and we activate each one of these codes to just help you, whether you have an intention or if you don't have an intention and you want to discover something new. It's like 7 days where we all go through a process of like deconditioning the old self and opening up to the essence of who you are, so that you can be more connected to you and to the divine. So I will be placing that into the group as well. But yeah, it was a pleasure. Very interesting today. I feel like it's evolving. What we have been doing is kind of like, today it felt like very like heavy wisdom oriented, like a more dense way of like, you know, like sometimes I can teach this and it feels like very light and very, whereas this one, it has that energy because we're talking about like the dense part. And also the clothes. I was like, what should I do? Black. Because it's that part, you know, like facing the darkness. The idea with all this, if there is one message, is, and something that you can take, and a mantra, it says, I am the ash and the light that emerges. And it will make sense the next weeks that we move up into like higher realms, how you will be able to connect with this. So you can take this for the week, just to be reminded that, you know, it is normal to go through this process of kind of like almost dying so that the new can be reborn. So thank you so much. Who is not in the WhatsApp group?